So, hello Caps and Happy New Year because it's the first time we talk in 2024. So, I guess
Thank you. You too.
the last game was not as good as you expected. But what is your first impression after this game?
Yeah, I mean, definitely was a sad game for me. I think I misplayed quite some time, especially in the early game. And once I fell behind, it was kind of hard to make my way back in this game. I think I guess it was kind of like the flavor of the week. This week we were like our early game was pretty weak, and today I was making a lot of mistakes in the early game. I think we still was playing decent in mid game, but we were in a very hard position. We just need to clean our early game up for sure.
As you mentioned, some mistakes have been made and it was kind of chaotic to watch. But is it better to lose a game like that because it's kind of wild than losing a game because like you're just not good enough? So maybe it's like not such a bad feeling.
I mean, I think it always feels bad to lose a game. I think so. I think it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it like we obviously like I definitely didn't play well enough today to win, and I think that's a shame, right? I think we obviously weren't like ready enough for this first week, but I think we have learned a lot in our last week, and I think if we continue that, we will be much better next week.
And even if today is a loss, the start is like still good enough because you went like 2 wins and 1 loss. So at the beginning of the week, if we told you that you were ending like 2-1, would you be happy with that?
Probably not. I mean, I would like to win, right? So I think we were hoping for the 3-0, hoping that we win every game, and it's always gonna feel bad when we lose. Always gonna be feel happy when we win. Um, but um, but yeah, we still have a long way to go, and I think we can do much better.
And it's always kind of hard to evaluate like the strength and like the power of teams in the BO1. And also like of course the most important games are coming with the playoff. So how do you evaluate your own strength? And do you think that you are already at the top level, or you think that you still need some more time to practice and to become like better?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we are still figuring things out. Definitely so. I think this off season was kind of like a huge change in patches, right? And I think we are trying some new things, which we're still trying to optimize completely. But overall, I think we're learning a lot, but we also are maybe like have sacked our early game a bit, and we need to make sure that we are able to perform like a decent early game as well. Because yeah, I mean, today I was playing very bad, and I want to make sure that next week I'm gonna get the advantages.
And as you mentioned, the new map changed a lot of things, like for the players. So how did you study and how did you, I don't know, like learn how to play? Is it like from the player, from your own like experience, or it was the coaching staff who teach you some stuff?
I mean, I think it's a mix of everything. I think obviously the players were playing a lot of in-houses in the off-season especially and testing out a lot of things. So I think everyone was like coming up with different things they saw in the games. And then coaching staff also did a bunch of like research on what they think can be strong.
And if we speak about your off season, it was, I guess, somehow easy because you didn't swap team and none of your teammates leave. So does it mean that G2 is already like better than last year because you just keep the same synergy and the same teammates?
I mean, I think we're for sure a lot worse than we were like at the end of last year, right? Because it's just the start of the year, so we're still getting used to things, and we're obviously trying our best to reach a point where we like peak and like playoffs and ideally MSI and stuff as well. So right now we're still like scaling upwards, and I think the goal is not necessarily to be stronger right now than we were at the end of last summer, but it's to have be much stronger like come playoffs than we were last year. And right now, as I was mentioning, we're testing out a lot of things and we're learning a lot of things. But in that process, we're also I think being a bit weaker or like a bit less clean right now. Take one step backwards so you can take 2 steps forward, so to say. And I think, I think we're going to be very good by the end.
And I think you know that better than me, but MSI is even more important for the regions because we need to have like one top 2 team to get one more spot in Worlds. And the last war was not very good for us as European. So do you have any, I don't know, like encouraging news or like a good speech to give us to make us trust for Europe?
I definitely think the LPL SK teams have been very far ahead of us for a while now, and I think last year we were struggling to keep up. I think we, especially as like the meta shifted, we were not really able to keep up with it. But we came in with a strong start, or like a decent start. And I think if we pick up a bunch from these worlds that we're like currently practicing, and we innovate a bunch on the new map, I'm sure we can beat anyone. And it's just about putting in the effort every day, because we're not just like going to be as good as we were last year by default, and we're not going to be better either. We need to really just like practice, innovate as well, and look at what everyone is doing to pick the strongest picks.
And on a personal level, how did you live the last, I guess, small setback that you had during the last wars? Was it like very like disappointing? And I mean, was it hard to live on a personal level?
Losing world is always the biggest disappointment, and that's definitely a lot of regrets. But at the same time, I was trying to look forward, and I think now I'm at a point where I'm definitely looking towards next worlds. I think definitely takes a while to like, you know, give up, so to say, on previous worlds, because I can never win that. It will always be a loss for us. We always got knocked out. But what I can do is look towards the next worlds and try my best to make it there in the first place. Obviously, we need to win Europe, and we need to learn a lot of things while doing it as well, because if we want to compete against the LPL and LCK teams, we're going to need to be the best version of ourselves we can possibly be. So I think it's definitely on what we're looking forward to.
And you are still young, but you have been here for a while already, like on the scene. So when you have that much experience, do you still feel that you can learn as fast as you were doing, like when you were younger?
You definitely learn all the time. I think a lot of the things, I mean, sometimes what you learn is also like you unlearn some other things. Obviously, League is a changing game, so sometimes yeah, things just straight up change, and you need to just adapt, right? Like the biggest thing right now was the map. Maybe I knew a lot of things about the old map that is now are useless. So in that sense, I think if you want to keep up as a pro player, you need to keep learning, and you need to keep improving. Ideally at like a faster rate every year, right? Because people are getting better and better. So definitely still feel like I'm improving, and I'm gonna try my best to improve even further, because that's what we need if we're gonna challenge at MSI and Worlds.
And of course, this is only the start of the year, and G2 is still, I think, in many mind, like the top contender for winning in Europe. But who are like maybe the best or the maybe most curious opponent that will challenge for your title?
I think it's hard to say right now, because we didn't really get to scrim at that many different teams yet. But I would assume Fnatic is still going to be up there. You know, they were second last year, and while Trimby is gone, I think they definitely still have the potential to be a strong team. And other than that, I'm not actually sure. Maybe K-Cup will surprise. I think they were very strong in scrims at least. And yeah, I think maybe one of those.
Okay, then thank you so much, Caps. And just to finish, I want to have your feeling about the new arena and all the public that have come to vote for you and to support you, because it seems that the new arena is kind of big and that there is like many like good atmosphere there. So what is your feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a huge upgrade. I think it's kind of crazy to be in the studio. I don't feel like I've been there before, where you can feel it like shaking almost, and you can just hear the chants going crazy. And I think especially these last few days have been a lot of fun to see so many fans so passionate about the game. I think that is like a really big drive for me. I will always remember my first time I was in like a big stadium back in 2016 with Dark Passage, and we were in a big stadium with 10,000 people, and having all that passion and all the fans cheering, it just made me want to go become a pro player. And I think now living it every weekend is just awesome. So a big thank you to all the fans who were in Berlin cheering, and I hope to see you guys the next weeks as well.
Thank you so much, Caps, and have a good rest, and see you next week, I guess.
Thank you. You
Goodbye.
too.